Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment. So today I just wanted to do a movie review over this movie called Fatale. This movie was something else, but it was really good though. It's a thriller, and that's like right up my alley. I love those kind of movies, like thriller, suspense, drama, etc. But anyways, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So I'm gonna start by introducing some of the characters first. So Michael Ealy, as you see him in the opening picture here, he plays the male lead named Derek, who is a successful sports agent businessman who was a former basketball player. He's married to his wife Tracy, who's played by, I think her name was Damaris Lewis. Yeah, Damaris Lewis was her name. And his best friend, whose name is Ralph, played by Mike Coulter, and the other, well, mostly female lead character, who's also in the opening picture, played by Hilary Swank, is Valerie. So in the opening of the movie, Derek is riding around the city in his drop top, and he looks like he's been through it. And they give you a little bit of narration that really gets you hooked in and drawn into, wanting to know what's going to happen later on in this movie. So the scene with him driving in his car, that actually happened or took place at the end of the movie, and they basically go back to show you how they got to that point. So there was one scene where it wasn't really much that happened. It was just him, Derek, and Tracy having dinner at his place with his best friend Ralph and his wife. And I think that was the night before he had to leave to go to a bachelor party. So that next day, Tracy was swimming in the pool and he gets her and he was like, "So, you were out kind of late last night and, didn't even tell me where you went. And I just want to know, where were you?" And I don't think he really asked it to be, to be a troll or a jerk. He just wanted to know, I don't think he was throwing stones. He just wanted to know where she was. She got super, super defensive and was like, "Look, I have a job, you have a job. I don't talk about you staying out and working all late and stuff. So don't talk about me working late or whatever. Like, I work just like you work, and I'm not gonna give up my job just because you don't want me to stay out all night." And he was like, "Okay, that's fine, that's fine." And then he just told her, like, "Look, I just want to spend time with you. I have to go to this bachelor party, but I really don't have to go. Like, I don't have to go to this party. Just why don't I just stay home and we can just talk? Let's just, the two of us, let's just talk. And I just want to spend time with you." And she was like, "Just go to your little bachelor party. I don't care." And I was like, that's just a tad bit suspicious to me, just a little bit. But he couldn't force her to talk to him or spend time with him. So he, was upset about it, but nothing he can do. So he just packed his bag, got in his car, and he went ahead and went to the bachelor party. So I believe the reason why he was trying to get her to talk and open up to him is because he could tell that she was being distant and he wanted to communicate with her, get down to the bottom of it, see what it was, and try to resolve it, but he couldn't, unfortunately, because she didn't want to talk. So he goes to the bachelor party with his friend Ralph. Worst person he could have been with, honestly. That's just the truth. They were in Vegas, and we all know what happens in Vegas. We all know what happens at bachelor parties. I'm just saying. He was trying to do the right thing and be a good man and be a good husband, stay true to his marriage. But Raph was so uncannily adamant about having him lay down his vows down by the riverside like burdens. It was ridiculous. I mean, Raph was like the poster child for that scripture in the Bible that says bad communication corrupts good manner, or evil communication corrupts good character. He was like walking bad advice, bad communication, and evil company all wrapped up in one. He was literally like, "What's wrong? What? Like, we're in Vegas, bro. Like, you should be happy. You should be having fun. Like, come on, we're in Vegas." He was like, "Nah, like, I'm a married man. Come on, like, I love Tracy. And we're just going through a rough patch." And he was basically like, "Forget Tracy. Have fun." Made him take off his wedding band, the whole 9 yards. Like I said, walking bad communication, and the way, like, how hard he was trying to get him to just do this, it was very suspicious. Like, why are you trying so hard to make him do the wrong thing? You're his friend. You should be trying to encourage him to do the right thing. Like, yeah, stay true to your marriage. Like, don't go out here and sleep your married man. Like, you keep up the good work, man. But no, he does the opposite, and he does it very hard. Like, just So he was so vigorous in his attempt to make him cheat. It was ridiculous. And unfortunately, Derek listened to him, unfortunately. So Derek went to the bar, which is where he found Valerie. And it didn't take long for them to be interested in each other. I mean, anybody could tell that within like what, a couple of seconds, no more than a minute, they were already feeling each other. Now, he did try to mention that he was married, but he got interrupted and he didn't get the chance to do it anyways. But he should have kept trying, honestly. He should have kept trying to let her know that he was married, because most women care about that kind of stuff. But anyways, so after X amount of time of them, dancing, being drunk, being all over each other, they ended up in her hotel room where they, did the do multiple times. And the next morning, I think a little bit of the guilt started to set in for him, and he realized that he messed up, that he goofed. So he got up and he realized, oh man, I have a whole wife, job, house, life to go back to. I gotta get out of here. So, I guess he was just gonna tiptoe out of there and act like nothing happened. Started gathering his things and, putting on his clothes. And then he realized he didn't know where his phone was. He was like looking all over the place and he was like, where is my phone? So she wakes up, notices him. So, tiptoeing out of there wasn't an option for him anymore. He asked her, have you seen my phone? I thought I put it somewhere, but I can't find it. And she was like, oh, it's in the safe. He was like, the safe? Can you get it out of the safe? Like, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. I got stuff to do. I got a job. I gotta go home. And she was like, no, I'm not gonna give it to you until you sleep with me again. And I was like, really, lady? And he was like, look, I really don't have time for this. And she was like, well, then why did you come to Vegas? It's a game. You gotta play. You gotta play a game. Stay and play. And I was like, see, he didn't mess up for real, for real. He was looking like, okay, fine, then I guess. And he went ahead, he did it again, and she went ahead and put the code in, or gave him the code with the safe, and he was able to get his phone back and finally go home. Now, I'm gonna get on the soapbox real fast and say something. We'll talk about him again, not mentioning to her that he was married before he slept with her later. But for right now, the soapbox I want to get on is technically what she did to him. Technically, was called sexual coercion. She sexually coerced him into having sex with her again so that he could get his phone back. Now, technically, that's legal. And her, which you found out later in the movie, she's a cop. Her being a cop, you know, like I know she knows this stuff. She should have knew it. But anyways, technically that was illegal, and that was very wrong for her to do. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, he wanted to sleep with her anyways. And because there is a double standard when it comes to this kind of stuff, like sexual crimes, when men are technically in the seat of the victim, it's not going to be looked at that way, which is the sad part. But technically, what she did was very wrong. But I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Oh, and another thing I want to say before I get off my soapbox now, I might get, they might drag me for this, but I'm going to say it anyways because it's my mouth and this is my YouTube page. We need to stop normalizing getting drunk or just going to the bar, going places with people we don't know, going to their house, to their apartment, to their hotel room and sleeping with them. We need to stop normalizing that. And the reason why I say that is because, like this for example, him going to her hotel room, he didn't know her. She could have been a serial killer. And there he is in her bed. And while he's asleep, she could have pulled out a knife and slit his throat. Now, I know y'all are wondering why would she do that, but why do people do stuff like that? It's happened before. People use sex to lure people into places, and then they do stuff. He could have been a serial killer. He could have been the kind of psychopath that got off on picking up chicks, going to their hotel, and then having sex and then kill them afterward. And she would have been dead. Just like that. I'm just saying, like, trusting people we don't know, not a good idea. Like, just not a good idea. Not a safe idea. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. For real this time. Now, in this scene right here, he went back to his wife and he did um try to make things up with her, even harder than before. And I think he did so because he knew that she was distant and he was trying very hard. He was cooking her dinner, playing her music, trying to make her dance with him. He was trying his best to be romantic, and she could not have been more detached, distant, and unreceptive of him. I mean, like she really was just like, ugh. Like you could see it on her face, but you can see, I guess maybe she was trying to kind of get it together. I guess so that she could satisfy him, but you could tell she was just not there, like she was just not there at all. But he was just doing his best to like fix whatever it was that was going on. I think they had been married for like 7 years or something like that. And that's not, some people will say that that's not a long time, but that is kind of a long time, really, if you think about it. And that was just too long for them to throw in the towel just because she had attitude. He was trying to fix it and she was just like, like, just leave me alone, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. So later that night, they were in bed and they were making not love because she didn't love him. They were making something, but I guess you could say they were screwing. But anyways, they heard a noise coming from the kitchen. They stopped mid session and Derek was like, "Look, you just stay here where it's safe, and I'm gonna go see what's going on. Just stay put." And she was like, "Yeah, yeah, you do that. I am gonna stay put." And I was like, "Really? I mean, I know you don't love him, but do you not love him that much?" I'm not saying that she should have just charged into danger with him, but she could have acted like she at least gave a what, at least a little about his safety. So he takes a golf club and he goes into the kitchen, kind of just tiptoes in the kitchen, see what's going on. And an intruder broke into their home. And while he was trying to sneak into the kitchen, the intruder got the drop on him. I mean, it was brutal. He took some hits, like some serious hits, and Derek almost got killed. Like this dude almost killed him. Like he punched him, he slammed him into stuff, hit him all across his kitchen island. It was just bad. They fell on the floor, and Tracy was tiptoeing around in the living room to see what was going on instead of helping. And I was like, "Girl, what are you doing? Help your man, do something, like throw a vase, grab a bat, like, try to distract the intruder. Don't just let him get beat up." I mean, like, think about it. Like, if the intruder came in the house and he attacks your husband and he kills your husband, who do you think's gonna be next? Unless he just decides to leave, So I'm just saying it's just in your best interest to, like, help him in some kind of way. So one, your husband won't die, and two, you know, that you can get the intruder. But anyways, he and Derek were tussling. Derek almost lost that fight, especially when the intruder took out a gun, which was actually like the first thing that happened, the beginning of the fight. Almost blew his brains out all over the floor he was paying for. But somehow he managed to get, by God's grace and mercy, he managed to somehow get the upper hand on this guy. And he started fighting him, and he chased him out of the house and was gonna go after him and nail him with a golf club, which would have probably took him out. But as he was chasing the intruder and almost got him, what does his wife decide to do? Finally, something. Yell his name, causing him to get distracted and the intruder to get away. And I was like, now why would she do that? Why wouldn't she just let him like finish him off? Like he did try to kill him. I'm just saying. That song was playing in my head. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Because that was just suspicious to me. It really was.